This video is brought to you by our Patreon page. Help us grow and keep creating great content by supporting us on Patreon. Hey, welcome to Color Yoga. My name is Kyle and welcome to the Mobility Series. Today's practice is focused on offering some relief to our glutes and our lower back and offering some relief to any sciatic nerve pain. It's just a few exercises that I've done in my personal practice that have really helped me create some length and flexibility and mobility in those areas. And this mobility series as a whole is designed to focus on different sections of the body and go through a wide variety of different exercises. So you can kind of cherry pick to see which one feels good for you and in your body. So today we're going to run through a few practices to specific areas like our lower back, our IT band, our glutes, and really see if we can create a bit of relief there. So if you'd like to join in, you can always hit the subscribe button. It goes a long way for the growth of this channel. And if you have any questions, I will be down below. So when you're ready, you can grab your mat and let's begin. Welcome back. Okay, so today we're going to start in a seat, cross-legged, Sukhasana. You can start at the back of the mat if you like. Just come into just a nice regular seat. If you'd like to, you can always sit on something. It provides a lot of relief for the knees and the hips if it is sore. And from here, we're just going to walk our hands forward. And find a comfortable space, close the eyes, and breathe. And in your seat, you want to make sure that you are encouraging your belly to come forward and down. So imagine that you are folding at the crease of your hips. You can, if you have a block, you can always place it underneath your head just to relax the neck, but also not necessary. And the idea is that you're going to just be with the breath, be with the sensations in your body. And if you'd like to add something different, you can always walk your hands off, bringing in a side stretch. Moving over to the other side. And making your way gently back out. We'll switch the legs around, so less dominant leg over. And then walking your hands out in front of you and finding a nice comfortable space. You can walk your hands over to the one side, if that feels good. Seeing if you can rotate your right shoulder down to the floor, so keeping your chest square to the ground. Make your way over to the other side. Breathing through center and rising back up. Well done. So from here, we're going to move to one of my favorite exercises. We'll start off with extending your right leg out. And you want to see if you can get onto the front of your sitting bones to begin with. And if this is a bit tight on your hamstring, you can always sit in a block or a pillow, just to give yourself a little bit of height of the floor, and then just allows you to bring yourself more forward. So we're going to start off with taking your left leg and placing it over the right. And you've got some options. This is kind of the entry level. If this feels like a nice strong position to be in and it's offering a good stretch, you can stay here. You can always deepen it by twisting, by pulling the knee into your chest to give yourself a bit of a deeper stretch. And if you'd like to go even deeper, and this is the one that I really like to do, is you take your leg and you place it over your right heel comes all the way to the back and your knees stack up on each other. This is quite strong. You want to make sure that your both sitting bones are on the ground. So if you need to, you can always get something to prop yourself up. And from here, you just want to simply walk your hands forward to a comfortable, breathable space. This is both strong on your glutes and on the hamstrings. And again, this is also a position which takes some time. So use the breath. If this is where you're at, that's totally fine. Again, the idea is just to kind of relax and offer yourself a space just to be with the body and gently open up those areas. And then when you find that you're comfortable in this position, you can just walk your hands just a little bit more forward. making sure to keep your chest nice and open and your belly moving forward and down instead of yourself rounding over and diving straight into the floor. You want to move yourself forwards towards your foot, and you'll really feel the difference between coming down towards your chest and forward towards your front heel. Notice where your toes are. If they're facing forward, this is a very natural position because it's kind of looser and then allows you to get more forward. But the minute you flex your toes and keep your kneecap facing up, you should feel your leg fire up, perhaps working even into the outside IT bands, like in your IT band. Take one more breath in and one more breath out. Well done. You're gonna make your way back out. You can always just do a little window wiper to offer a bit of relief because it is quite strong and that ache does build up, and it's something that you should be trying to do consistently and not putting in one crazy amount of effort. Just a little bit every day goes a very, very long way, especially if you're having sciatic nerve pains or if you have lower back pains or into the glutes. I'm sitting at a desk. So make your way over to the other side. This time my right goes over my left, toes nice and flexed. Walk your arms out in front of you. This seems to be a little bit tighter for me on the one side than the other, so that is something to take note of. And if your one side is a lot tighter than the other one, I would recommend starting on your tightest side, then going over to your more flexible side and then coming back to your tight side. And taking note of the foot, making sure it's nice and flexed, kneecap facing up. See if you can go in a little bit deeper for 3, 2, 1, and release. Well done. Window wiper your legs just to release the hips. And from here, we're going to make our way over our shins, onto our hands, into a sort of, I'd say, half pigeon variation as an IT band stretch. So we're going to stretch the outside of your leg. What's going to happen is you're going to take your leg and you're going to extend it out beside you and flex your toes. And this should be quite a strong stretch. So you can always, it's an interesting way to get into it, but you can start off with your legs out wide and then roll onto the outside of your right foot, coming into the IT band stretch. And you've got some options. You can stay here if this feels good. You can kind of get a little bit curious with your own body. Sometimes your stretch is in different areas. So if shifting your weight forward feels really good, then you can do so, and you can always open yourself up and roll over. If this is really easy and you want to go a little bit deeper, you can raise yourself up onto the floor and then bring your left hip down towards the ground. You can really feel that stretch, maybe touching the foot back down, raising it up, touching it down. You can also work into a little bit of an arm strengthening exercise at the same time. Again, just working into that area, and even if you have to come out just to provide a bit of relief, take a nice deep breath in and exhale to twist over. The idea is just to run through a variety of different exercises so you feel equipped to address your own body and your own self-practice, because sometimes you don't have all the time to go through a whole 50-minute practice, but you just want to have 1 or 2 nice stretches that you know feel good, and you can just start your day off with this stretch and the one before, or if it's in a different area of the body, you can work through the series and kind of figure your own body out. So from here, we're going to make our way back out, and sometimes it's even just a matter of getting down onto the floor like a traditional half pigeon, where you're keeping your toes flexed and you're keeping your left hip coming towards your right kneecap, just to feel that stretch out. So I'm going to come out and move over to the other side. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to shift to the back, but you can always bring your left foot round. Again, nice interesting way to get in is to have your legs forked open and then rolling onto the left IT band, keeping your left toes nice and flexed, hip coming down to the ground. And options here would be to just kind of stay on the elbows. If you'd like a little bit more of a strength and stretch, or strengthen and mobility, you can press up onto the floor, activate the leg, press down into the ground, relax, and then deepen into the stretch. So that would be a kind of one way to do this exercise. From here, if just sitting like so and then rolling over is another way, you're still offering the mobility into the stretch, so keeping the legs nice and active, and you can roll onto the right side. You can even go back over to the left side, but it's just good to stick with one side first because you want to get through that area and spend at least 2 minutes in the posture, because after 2 minutes the body is comfortable where it is, and then it really begins to open up. And even as a more passive yin practice, you can just find a comfortable space, get a pillow underneath your chest, rest yourself down, just making sure that your toes are facing up and feeling into your body. If something feels off, back out. If there's like a sharp pain, don't bother. Find something else, and you're never really looking to hurt yourself, but if there's a dull ache that you can feel kind of eases with your exhale, then maybe you're in the right spot and you can spend some time there to explore. And you can release to come out and make your way onto your bum, and you can window wipe your legs again. It's also just a nice relief to hip and glute and lower back exercises. And from here, we are going to lay ourselves down. We're going to bring your right knee to your chest, give it a good squeeze, still tucking the chin, flexing both toes. And from here, we're going to move into a supine twist or a supine twist variation. The variation would be that you are extending your leg out. So as you lower your leg over, you're going to extend it out and feel into the IT band stretch. It's basically a more passive version of the stretch we were doing before. And if you have a belt, you can always wrap it around the foot and grip onto it. So if it's up into the sky, belt down and pull in and then lower it down if you want something a little bit more active. But it's also nice just to rest into the posture. If you can get hold of the toe out beside you, that's also good. And you want to make sure that your right shoulder opens up into the floor. And if this is too much, you can start off with a bend in the knee and then open up the chest, slowly lower the leg down, and then over time, extend the leg out. So really just a matter of figuring out where you are in your mobility practice and your yoga practice. So even if it's here to start, slowly lowering it down to the floor, keeping your right shoulder on the ground, looking over the right shoulder, finding a place. If it's up in the sky and it's uncomfortable and it's floating around like crazy, place something underneath you like a pillow or a block or 2 yoga blocks or a bolster, just so you can relax. And then over time, extend it out, flex the toes. And if you have the grip, you can open up and look over the right shoulder. Same thing here, drawing the knee in, exchanging the leg out. Right leg goes out long, left knee draws in, tuck the toes, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. And then same thing here. With the chin tucked, left shoulder onto the floor, lower the right knee over to the right hand side, place it down, and over time you can extend your left leg out beside you. I just think for demonstration purposes I'm not able to do that right now, but the left leg will extend out and keeping the left shoulder down, feeling a stretch along that IT band, working to the nerve, opening up and loosening the lower back. And release. Bring both knees into your chest and your heels up to the sky. We're going to come into the last posture. One of my favorites, happy baby, taking the outer blades of your feet or your shins. Just want to make sure that your hips come out wide. And this is where I just like to rock from left to right, keeping my eyes closed, just to massage my spine and lower back out. And release, draw both knees into your chest. Give yourself a giant squeeze of gratitude. Inhale, raise the forehead up to your knees. Take a moment just to connect with your body and your self-practice. The long exhale, release and relax into Shavasana. Well done. Find your way to a still Shavasana, having the toes relaxed out, palms facing towards the sky. Take a deep breath in. And a long, released exhale out. The only instructions here would be to lay still and notice what you notice, making your exhales long and smooth. You're welcome to lay here for as long as you like, and thank you for your time and your effort and your attention. If you have any comments, any feedback, if you'd like to see more of something or less of something, feel free to reach out. I always love to hear from you. Otherwise, I will see you here next time on your mats. Namaste.